Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out with Sky Head of Boxing, Adam Smith. How are you, Adam?
I'm very good. Very excited to be back with big shows lined up for September, October, November, December. I'm looking forward to everything, be it with Sky or be it on the other channels. You've got Amir this weekend, you've got Golovkin Canelo, you've got AJ Povetkin, you've then got the Super Series final, then we're in Chicago, then Newcastle and Boston. I mean, it's crazy, and the team are very, very excited.
One thing I wanted to ask you, it was announced by Matchroom this morning that they're going to create some new support programming for the big fight nights that will be going out on their social channels, also overseas partners. Can we expect to see more of that type of programming on regular Sky rather than on demand, for example?
I think there's going to be programming everywhere. We are doing more JD ringsides. There's one that's coming tomorrow before the Khan fight. We're also going to have those before AJ and Povetkin, and also before the Billy Joe Saunders Demetrius Andrade fight in Boston. So a lot of that sort of stuff is coming. We've got huge amounts of behind the ropes and other programming ahead of AJ Povetkin to look forward to, and we're giving daily content on digital. Like yesterday, we had Ted Cheeseman in, and he was doing all sorts of digital, social, and linear content. We had Isaac Dogbowen doing Sky Sports News. So I think it's up to all of us to make sure that the boxing's kept in the front of everyone's minds. This is an enormously vibrant period for boxing. You know, it's hot. It's cool again. People want to be involved in it, and that's why BT and ITV and everybody are going into pay-per-view and are putting on big fights. And look, I think it's going to be quite a costly sort of next few months for the customers, but I think they're going to get the best set of fights that they could possibly get, and maybe the best sort of 3 or 4 months for some years. So look, it's great, isn't it? If you look at AJ Povetkin, then if Fury Wilder takes place this side of Christmas, and that's the heavyweights, and that's not even to mention the likes of Jarrell Miller, who's going to fight, whether we get Dillian White possibly in a rematch with Derek Chisora, or what happens with him. The heavyweight division is unbelievable. Daniel Dubois out sparring with Povetkin. How close is he? Joe Joyce is fighting soon in the States. So much is happening. That's just a heavyweight. If you look at all the other divisions, the Super Series going again, you look at the likes of what we've got coming up in the UK, DAZN have got in the States, that we're bringing all the shows to Sky. I think boxing's everywhere again, and I think that can only be good.
You mentioned Fury Wilder, kind of a sensitive subject I need to put to you.
Yeah.
There was recently a story on the Sky Sports website highlighting the fact that Fury doesn't yet have a license to box in the US, or specifically in Nevada or New York.
Yeah.
It was then mentioned by a lot of people that most boxers tend to apply for their US license very close to the fight.
Yeah.
And then it was suggested...
You actually need a license. I think you're licensed here.
Yeah.
And then
you get like a foreign permit, yeah. But
maybe the wording wasn't quite right.
No, sure. But it was mentioned that highlighting that fact on the Sky Sports website was part of a wider conspiracy, if you like, to undermine the fight because it's not on Sky.
Absolutely.
How do you respond to that?
100% not. It's a big fight. And we are, especially the SkySports.com, Sky Sports News, we blog a lot of fights on SkySports.com that are shown on the other channels. We'll do a lot of the BT fights, etc., and we'll blog them on SkySports.com. We have to keep independent. Okay, yes, we are businessly attached to Matchroom. We have a genuine interest in, obviously, all the Matchroom fighters that appear on Sky, that will appear on DAZN, and we are broadcasting them. So obviously the likes of Lewis Ritson and Joshua Boazzi and all the guys we think are going to come through, the Joe Cordinas and Josh Kellys, we're going to really highlight them, of course. I said after Josh Warrington's win over Lee Selby the other week, I said, I want Josh in. We have to be independent. We will definitively be talking about Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. I'd like to be there. I'm sure you'd like to be there. I'm sure the majority of people on my team would like to be there. It's a big fight. Are we upset that AJ hasn't fought Wilder yet? A little bit. But he's fighting Povetkin. It's a great fight.
But that doesn't in any way dictate the content strategy, I'm assuming.
Not at all. AJ Povetkin's a great fight. It's a dangerous fight. It's a mandatory. And we all can't wait for that. The AJ Wilder fight didn't get made, but they made Fury Wilder. Good. Let's see it happen. It hasn't happened yet, and it hasn't really been announced yet. Get it announced properly, and then we can start to sort of do our own build-up to it. We're not going to over-promote it. It's on another channel. But we're going to talk about it. And we're going to talk about it in relevance to Anthony Joshua and Dillian White and all the other fighters. What I know is that heavyweight boxing is booming. So we'll be really silly if we didn't talk about the big fights out there. So make no mistake, Danny, we'll be talking about Fury and Wilder, and we'll be talking about Warrington and Frampton, and we'll be talking about Canelo and Golovkin next week. we'll be over promoting the shows we don't have. I think that's not really make huge business sense, but of course we're going to be talking about it. It's massively important to the boxing world, and we'll be giving our independent verdict, or certainly the pundits will, and the Sky Group will, the likes of Johnny and Carl and Matthew Macklin will be giving their verdicts on those fights, 100%.